Hi everybody, it's Tatiana and it has been a minute. As you can see, Buffy is still doing what she typically does. If you just heard her, as soon as I started recording, she needs to get up and shake her life away. But as you can see, I am not in my library where I typically film. My library is currently under construction as things had to be taken out of place and then put back into place. So this is where I am filming for today. It has been a long time since I have sat down and filmed a video, and even a longer time because I have filmed some videos, but I have not had the drive, the desire to do any editing. Y'all, COVID anxiety started to hit somewhere around the end of 2020, and that shit just took up residence in life. And as a result of that, there are quite a few things that suffered, but of the things that are noticeably visible to the people who typically come by this channel, I ain't uploaded a damn video. Having put all of that aside, why am I doing a video today? Why am I on November 8th? By the way, if you didn't vote, fuck you. If you have voted, I hope that you voted like you give a fuck about people with vaginas. Why am I filming today? I am filming today because I finished yesterday a debut novel that put me on my emotional ass in a good way. So what is that book? Shallow Waters by Anita Kopax. I would like to first apologize to the author because in reading this, I did an Instagram story and I pronounced your last name wrong. I am so sorry. I was reading and didn't do the thing that you're supposed to do, which is look up how to fucking pronounce a name that you are not quite sure how to pronounce. So I just went with my own and I said Kopax. It's Kopax. Okay, this story, and for those of you who have, everybody's new at this point, shit. When I do reviews, I do not share information that is not provided in the synopsis in the book. So there are some things that are given to us before the story actually starts that are not part of the synopsis. I'm not going to tell you what those are, but I'm going to tell you to read the things before the novel begins. Okay? This story envisions the Orisha Yemaya as a human. And as a human in the 19th century, towards what is supposed to be the end of the transatlantic slave trade. For those who don't know, the Orisha Yemaya is often envisioned, and I will try to remember to take a picture of the drawing that's actually in this book because it's a beautiful drawing. It is gorgeous. I will try to remember to take a picture of that and post and include that in here so that you can see how Yemaya has been or can be interpreted. And Yemaya finds herself in a situation where she allows herself to cross the Atlantic following a cargo ship full of black bodies to the New World. Point blank, she is making this journey because she has found a human male who ignites something in her that makes her want more than what she has experienced. Now, having said that, and I'm going to sit this down for the sake of my wrist. Having said that, it's easy to get hung up on the fact or discount the story because it seems very familiar, just told through a black gaze during slavery in what later becomes the U.S. Don't do that. I almost did that. There are so many connections that Yemaya makes as she is on this journey that this story is more than just Yemaya searching for a man. This story is Yemaya figuring out who she is, who she can be, and who she wants to be in this life that she has chosen to live and does not want to give up. I don't know if that really works, but we're keeping it because that's just where my mind is. FYI, I did make notes because I did not want to forget the mental space that I was in after I finished this. So this is it's a short novel, but my reading has strongly suffered. And so when I first started reading this, I think it took 4 days for me to read this in total. And that was largely because I was just giving myself a time frame. Read for this amount of time. At the end of this, if you're not at the end of a chapter, get to the end of the chapter that you're on and stop. You're done for the day. That's how yesterday was supposed to go. It didn't happen because I needed to know what the end was going to be. And I forgot where my brain was going once I made that statement. Ain't shit changed, y'all. I'm still as scatterbrained as ever. So, of course, we know that with the creation of the 13 colonies and what later became the U.S., there's a lot of moving around, shipments accurate, but also moving around of the people who were indigenous to this land. So in this, and I missed it the first time it happened, I wasn't getting it. I was like, she ain't swim far. She did. But because the characters who are in the indigenous characters, the experiences that they have seem so similar to the experience that I have read of African characters who are invaded and taken and shipped, that they seemed very similar. And so I missed the first time that we encountered them, that they were indigenous to this land, not still in Africa. You have the abolitionist experience, and you have the experience of coming into contact with persons who seem to be part of the abolitionist lifestyle and are not really, and are also not white. So it's not just Yamaya's experience. Again, this is a novel that's really about relationships and connections and making meaningful connections in what is such a horrible time. And what you have is your community. And Yamaya finds that out very quickly, but also in a manner that she doesn't really realize what's happening until it's already happened, and people she encounters make space in her heart. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this story is that there are actual historical people of note included in the storyline. And oftentimes when I have read, and I can think of immediately one book in particular, where I have read stories where actual people in history are used as part of the story, there have been details about their lives that are easily researchable that have been flubbed or changed, and there's no addition to the story. It's not something that's happening because it makes the story. It doesn't make the story. It makes no fucking difference. That is not what Kopatz does in this story. Okay? Number one, in this story, she tells you who these historical figures are without telling you who these historical figures are. So not only are you encountering them, but they are getting to tell you who they are, but not in such a formal sense. So it doesn't feel like historical name dropping for the purpose of adding significance to the story. Okay? Also, the characters that we encounter, or the historical figures that we encounter, the only things about their experience in life, or life that changes from what would be historically accurate, occur directly as a result of their interaction with Yamaya. And as a result of their interaction with Yamaya, zest is returned. And it's absolutely beautiful when you read it, but also the passion that the character feels is so relatable and so palpable. Like, I felt their excitement. I felt their desire to want to do more than what they were doing at that point in their life up to meeting Yemaya. And it actually moves the story along. It helps you to again see the impact Yemaya has on people, because you also see the impact that she has on the slaves that she comes in contact with, as well as the indigenous people she comes in contact with. They know who she is. She's not sure of who she is, but they know who she is, and they treat her as such. And as a result of that, not only does she fall in love with them, she falls in love with herself and begins to understand more about what makes her the power that she is. I don't know if I'm doing a really good job at this, or maybe this is the job that I've always done, and it's just been so fucking long that this feels real weird and awkward right now. But we're going to keep going. Another thing I really enjoyed about this story is that there is the existence of the Christian faith, as well as the existence of the belief in the power of and existence of the Orisha. And ain't nobody mad. Yemaya doesn't get mad when someone sees her do what she does and compares her to either Jesus or Jesus's disciple, or the manifestation of the second coming of Jesus on earth. There is no anger or confusion on the side of the white abolitionists that Yemaya comes in contact with when they see Yemaya being revered by the slaves as an Orisha. There's no backlash. There's no misunderstanding. There is awe and the desire to learn more. And that was beautiful. This is the last thing that I have written on my sheet of notes that I wrote out last night. All these experiences are given in a story about an Orisha turned human, subject to the transatlantic slave trade and the life of a slave in the South who has one singular focus. And that is to find this man that she has made this love connection with. All of these other elements is a hell of a lot of story in such a small package. And we need more stories like this. Yes, we like the long books. I love a good tome. Y'all know that. But a novel that can give you history, love, goosebumps, and glee in under 300 pages. We need more of this. If I gave star ratings, this would get 5 of them. And I am very hesitant. If you look at some of my older videos of reviews of debut novels, I am often very hesitant to give 5 stars to a debut novel, because I'm always like, there has to be somewhere to go. What if the second novel is even better than this and the cap is 5 stars? Do I just give it the same 5 stars when it's a different kind of 5 stars than this kind of 5 stars? Could be. I don't care. This is a 5-star story. And I am anticipating with great joy Kopak's second novel. So if you have this on your shelf, read it. If you don't have this on your shelf, buy it. If you cannot buy this, borrow it from the library. If your library doesn't have it, request it. That's the end. Thank you all for watching, and what is my outro? I hope you have a good weekend, whenever you see this video. Peace out.